everyone, and it's great to have you with me today for Pilates. For today's session you're going to need a towel. So any towel is fine, just a beach towel or a bath towel, whatever you've got handy. So if you've got one of those towels around, you can just grab one and we'll get started in a moment. But for today's session we're going to work into our abdominals, obviously back and glute work too. But our main focus for today's session is going to be releasing the spine. So getting lots of mobility through the back, and lots of stretching, really stretching the back out and giving you a bit more movement through the spine can help release any areas of pain or tension and just really increase and encourage good posture. Okay, so we're going to get started. We're going to start lying on our backs. We're going to have your arms out nice and wide, and we're going to go for some side to sides. So the arms are out wide to the side, and the knees are bent and the feet are flat on the floor. So I'm going to take a breath in, and we're going to let the legs roll over towards your right, and we're going to press the left hand down to the floor as we look towards it. So really pushing that left hand down, and you're taking the knees towards the right hand side. So we're going in opposite directions with the head and with the legs. Then we breathe out and we pull back through the tummy, and bring the legs back to the middle, and then we go the other way. So now really pushing that right palm down into the floor, letting the legs move to the left, and the left palm is flipped back up. We breathe out, we pull the lower tummy in, and we bring the legs back to the centre. Good, and we go again. So breathing in to go across, and breathing out to pull back through the side. And so as we go to the side, you should feel a stretch through the side of the waist, maybe into the chest, as you turn that palm down onto the floor. And the more you can push that hand to the floor, the stronger the stretch will be across the front of the body. We're thinking about using the legs like a weight, so they're nice and heavy. And as we bring the legs back, we're not working too much through the legs, but really focusing on those waist muscles, wrapping around to bring the legs back, yeah? So the legs are those weights for the waist. Let's go for 2 more to each side. We breathe in to go across. And then we breathe out, we pull in through the lower tummy, we bring the legs back to the middle. And then we go the other way. Another inhale. And exhale, coming back. Last set. Try and get the knees together if we can. And pulling back through the side. And last one. Breathing in. And out. Good. We're going to go for some pelvic curls now. So we'll bring your arms down by your sides. We'll have your palms facing up towards the ceiling. The feet are going to be hip width apart, so we're going to have a little space between the feet and the knees, and they're very parallel, very straight. Yeah, so we're not turning the feet out or in, but we're keeping that nice straight line through the outsides of the feet. We're going to inhale. As we exhale, I'm going to draw the lower tummy in. I'm going to tuck the hips forward and I'm going to roll it up through the back, reaching the knees forward towards the toes. We inhale at the top, and then as we exhale, we're going to slowly roll back down through the spine, reaching nice and long through the tail. So as we go, I want you to think about moving each vertebra off the floor one at a time. So you might need to go quite slowly in some areas. So really using the breath and those abdominals to move slowly through the back. So we'll inhale, and as you exhale, we pull the tummy in, feel like the pubic bones reaching forward towards the navel. We're scooping and hollowing, lifting those hips up. But that's why we're going to hold the legs there and the hips there. We're going to bring the arms up and over. We'll rest them onto the floor above the head. As you breathe out, we're going to roll back down again. Now having the arms lifted above the shoulders just gives you a little bit more stretch through the chest and through the back. We inhale, we bring the arms back down. As you breathe out, we curl up again. Reaching through the knees, lots of length. Inhale, arms up and over. Exhale, slowly roll down. Good, we inhale again, the arms come back by your sides. We breathe out, we pull the lower tummy in. We reach the tailbone long as we peel the spine off the floor. We hold it there. Inhale, arms come up. Let the arms be very heavy on the floor. They're like weights here. As you breathe out, feel the back of the ribs sink down into the floor. Feel the waist lengthen as you reach long through the tailbone until we finally come to the lower back and then the sacrum with the tailbone. Good, we go again, breathing out, curling up. Inhale, arms up and over. Exhale, rolling back down. Good, and then the arms come down by your sides. Okay, we're going to go for a hamstring stretch now. So if you take those towels that you've got, and we'll just have them in a nice long line. So if you just have it out so it's full length, and then give it a wee twist. So it's in like a nice rope or a strap. And you can lie back down onto your back. And we're going to place your right foot into the towel, and we'll take the left leg down towards the end of the mat then. So the leg's coming in towards you. That's it. I'm going to reach the heel right up towards the ceiling, so you can feel that nice stretch through the back of the leg. That's it. So reaching nice and long through the heel. I'm going to take a breath in. As you exhale, I'm going to pull the leg closer towards you. Another inhale. And we exhale, we pull the leg in a little bit more. Good, trying to get a bit more stretch into that leg, into that hamstring. Now I'm going to turn the toes towards the floor. I'm going to take the leg across your body. So it's like you're turning the toes down towards your midline and the heels reaching towards the side. We're taking the leg across the pelvis or across the body towards the floor on the opposite side, trying to keep both hips down on the floor. So as we're stretching this right leg, we're going to try and keep the right hip down. You should feel the stretch right through the outside of the leg there. And try and relax as much as you can. So we're breathing in and out and in and exhale. Good, we'll come back to the middle and we're going to change legs. So if you just swap your legs over, we're going to hit the left foot into the towel now. We're going to bring the toes right back towards you. You can flex the foot if you want to. That's it, that gives you a bit more stretch into that calf muscle. Reaching the heel up towards the ceiling. So another breath in here. As we exhale, try and bring the leg a little closer towards you. That's it. And then we go again. Another inhale. And exhale, pull the leg in. Good. I'm going to turn the toes down towards the midline now. Let the heel reach towards the left side. And we'll take the leg over the body. Trying to keep the left hip down on the floor. So feeling that stretch to the outside of the leg. It's important to have the legs nice and loose too. If the back is tight, then often the back of the legs are tight too. Releasing or stretching either one can help to give a little bit more freedom into the other. That's it. Good, and we come back to the middle. And you can take that leg out of the strap or out of the towel. We're going to roll the towel up now, and then we're going to lie down onto the towel with it placed just below the shoulder. So if you roll it up, so it's like a small tube, yeah, and then we're going to place it down onto the floor about where your shoulders would be. We're going to lie all the way down onto your back with your shoulders just resting under the towel, so you might need to adjust a wee bit, and pop your hands behind your head. So the head is going to be heavy in the hands, so we're really using those arms to support the head. We're going to release the head and shoulders over the towel, so we're feeling a bit of a stretch across the chest. Now the ribs will lift a little bit, but I want you to also have a sense of heaviness down through the ribs towards the floor. Okay, they won't necessarily touch, but I don't want you to be conscious or potentially lifting up and arching the back. You want to keep as relaxed as you can through the front of the rib cage as you release the head and shoulders over that towel. The pelvis is nice and straight too, so we're not tilting the pelvis forwards or backwards, but we're trying to keep it nice and neutral. So we've still got that heaviness down through the tailbone, trying to keep the pubic bone and those hip bones on the same plane. Okay, so from here we're going to breathe in, and as you exhale, we're going to lift the head and shoulders up. We're going to drop the back of the ribs a little closer towards the floor now. And we're just going to look down towards the belly button, making sure that the pelvis is staying very still. So as we lift up, we're not tucking the hips forward, but we're keeping the lower part of the torso very steady. We inhale and we lower back. As we exhale, we lift up again. Feel the back of the ribs sink towards the floor. The pelvis stays in the same position. To keep the pelvis in the same spot, we want to really pull that lower tummy in. Feel like the hip bones are reaching towards each other. The pubic bone, or drawing them just above the pubic bone, can also help to really keep the pelvis steady. Good. Breathing out to lift up. Inhaling to lower back. So you might feel a bit of a stretch across the chest as you lower down. If the shoulders are feeling particularly tight, you might feel the towel gently press into those shoulders, giving it like a little massage as you go up and down. We're going to go for 2 more. So we'll inhale We'll exhale, we'll lift the head and shoulders. Then we'll breathe in and we'll come back. And we'll breathe out, we'll lift up. Now we're going to add some legs in now, so I'm going to challenge the lower tummy a little more, keeping the upper body opening as we go. So I'm going to breathe out, we'll lift the head and shoulders up. We'll inhale, we'll float the right leg in. As we exhale, we'll lift the second leg up. We'll inhale, place the first one down, and we'll exhale, place the second. The first and the second, that's it. Then we release back. We breathe out. Let's start with the left leg this time. So we inhale to lift the left leg. We exhale, lift the right leg. We inhale, lift, place the left leg down, and we exhale, place the right leg down. Head and shoulders return. We go again, breathing out. Start with the right leg. Now watch those hips. They're moving, they shouldn't move at all. We want to keep the pelvis really steady. So it's a lot about the lower tummy now. Even though the upper abdominals are working, you should really feel that lower tummy work to hold the pelvis still. So the legs are moving nice and freely within the hip joint without distorting the position of the pelvis. We're going to hold it here for a moment. If you're wanting a little more of a challenge, you can go for a double leg lift. And then we slowly lower those legs back again. Head and shoulders return. Otherwise, sit with the up, up, down, down. Yeah, so you can do one leg at a time or lift both legs together if you're wanting a little bit more of a challenge with those deep abdominal muscles. Let's go for 4 more. Breathing out. Inhale, lift the legs. Or lift one up. Then we exhale, slowly lower the legs. That's it, and we return. So we just go for 3 more. That's it. Whether you're doing up, up, down, down, or double legs. Another exhale. Head is heavy in the hands. Feel the heaviness of the back of the ribs down into the floor. Watching those hips don't shift. Good, and the legs come up. And maybe they're coming down one at a time or together. Good, and you can rest the head and shoulders back. Okay, good, we're going to take that towel and just pop it to the side for the moment. We'll come back to it later. Okay, we're going to go for some back legs now, so we'll lie down onto the floor. We're going to have your arms up towards the ceiling, and we'll lift the legs up so the knees are just over the hips. So from here, we're going to take a breath in. As you breathe out, we're going to stretch the left arm, the left leg down. We'll take the right arm above the head. Now, really focusing on that lower tummy. We're sinking that belly button down. We're not letting the back move. Yeah, and then we inhale and we come back. So the belly button sinks. As we stretch the opposite arm and leg away, the same arm comes down towards the leg. So we exhale and we inhale. Now, the height of the arm and the leg affect how difficult it is. If it's a bit challenging, you feel like that back wants to lift the arm and leg a little higher, or if you want a bit more challenge, take the arm and leg a little lower. And we come back. So breathing out, reaching long. Feel like you're really reaching right out through those limbs. We inhale, we return, and then we go again. Exhale, inhale to come back. We're going to go for 4 like this. And then if you're wanting a little bit more, we're going to go for some double arms and legs. And 3, 2, and last one. That's it. Now keep doing that if that's enough of a challenge. Otherwise, stretch both arms and legs away. That's it. Inhale to come in. Exhale, reach long. Don't let that back out. Keep the lower tummy as the focus. We're going to go for another 4. Slowly return. And 3, lower tummy sinks, reaching long. And 2. That's it. You've got it. And last one. Reaching long. Good, and we come all the way in. You can just pop your feet down for the moment. We're going to go for some twists. So the head and shoulders will be lifted, and we're going to be rotating through the upper body. So really thinking about that movement through the upper back, taking the shoulder towards the opposite knee. Okay, so we'll lift the head and shoulders up to begin with. We're going to have the legs up, so the knees are just over the hips. From here, we're going to breathe out. We're going to stretch the right leg, take the right shoulder towards the left knee. We inhale, we come in. And then we exhale and we go the other way. So lots of rotation through the upper back. The hips are nice and steady as we go from side to side. So as you turn towards your left leg, your right hip is going to stay down, yeah? So really keeping the hips nice and steady as we move through those abdominals, taking you up and over. So don't just reach that elbow, think about the shoulder coming up, yeah? We've got another 6, and 5, 4, 3, and 2. Last one. Good, and come all the way in. Good, the knees can come in. You can just rock those legs from side to side. Nice and relaxed. That's it, just releasing off the tension in the tummy. Good, and we're going to turn over onto your side now. So we're going to lie down onto your side. We're going to have your arm mat straight under your head. Or if that feels uncomfortable on the neck, you can always pop that towel just between the shoulder and the head there. Okay, so the top hand can rest slightly forward of the, or just in front of the chest, and the legs can be slightly forward of the hips. So just reaching out through that top hip bone too. It's a little bit of a lift through the bottom side of the waist. So we're not sort of collapsing and lifting that hip up, but we're staying active through the torso. Okay, so I'm going to breathe in. As you exhale, I'm going to lift those legs out. Now I'm going to separate the top leg from the bottom. I'm going to turn the leg outwards. So I feel like the heel's reaching forward towards the front or towards the windows or whatever's in front of you, and then we're going to bring the leg back to parallel and we lie down. Here we go again. So we breathe out, we lift up, we separate the legs, and we rotate the leg within the hip joint, and then we come back in. So by using that little bit of a rotation in the thigh, we're having to challenge the abdominals to stop the hip from moving. So really trying to get the leg to move within the hip joint without moving the pelvis. Yeah, so having to work harder in the lower tummy as we challenge that pelvic stability. That's it, good. We're going to breathe out, we lift up. We inhale, we rotate the glute muscle at the back on that top leg, or the top side of the hip is going to engage, and then we lower. Let's go for 6 more. Breathing out. Inhale. Exhale. And we inhale to lower. And 5. Good. That's it. You can place that top arm along your legs if you want a little bit more of a challenge. If your hands in front, just make sure we're not building tension and really engaging the neck and the shoulders, but we're keeping them really soft as we go. So the upper body is heavy on the floor. That's it, and 4. And 3. Good, hopefully the waist is beginning to work a little bit here too. Yeah, you might place your hand onto your waist and just feel a little bit of hardening of the muscle as the leg lifts. Sometimes it's easy to feel it just within the hip bone, or the inside of the hip bone. Good, and we'll lower all the way down. Okay, we're going to go for a wee side lift, and we're going to go for a couple of versions here. So we're going to start just up onto your elbow. We're going to have the top leg forward of the bottom one. We're going to lift the body up. We're going to hold it for 3 counts. We're going to go for about 6 of those, and then we're going to go into a more difficult version. If the first version is challenging enough, just stick with that one, okay? Yeah, so we're going to take a breath in. As you exhale, we're going to lift up. We're going to hold it for 3, 2, 1, and then we inhale and lower down. Good, we'll go again. Breathing out, contract into the waist for 3, 2, 1, and we return. We've got 4 more team. That's it, lifting up, holding that waist nice and steady. That's it for 3, 2, 1, and we return. And 3, for 3, 2, 1, and we relax. Good, so as we come up, we want to really keep that shoulder reaching down, feel that waist contract, and we return. Last one. Exhale to lift. That's it for 3, 2, 1, and we come back. Now you can keep doing that version, or if you want to, you can place your hand just quite close in towards you. So when we lift up, the shoulder's going to be at the top. We don't want the hand too far out, and quite close to the bottom. Once again, the top foot can be forward or the bottom foot, and we're going to lift right up into a side bend from here. Yeah. Now, for those of you that are coming up into this position, we're going to go for a twist, yeah, or a little reach underneath. So we're going to bring the arm underneath, and then we're going to come back up, and then we're going to exhale. We're going to pull the tummy and try and take the hips up towards the ceiling. So we're getting that bit of a stretch through the upper back. We've got 4 more. Otherwise, stick with that first version. For 4, inhale, and 3. Arm can reach up towards the ceiling as we lift up. That's it. And 2. And last one, lifting up and under, reach right underneath us. Our shoulders, good, and we come back down. Well done. That's it, slowly lowering down, and we'll do the other side. Okay, so we're going to start with the elbow, just close towards the shoulder, towards the hip, top foot is forward. So we're going to take a breath in. As you exhale, we're going to lift it up. That's it, drawing into the side of the waist, and then we inhale and lower down. Now the breath in, exhale, contract the waist. Feel that waist lift away from the floor, pushing down into the ground with the elbow, strong shoulder, and we return. That's it. We're going to go again. We can reach that top arm up if that feels comfortable, or have it along the body. That's it, and we return. Try not to push with this arm, yeah? You've got to get the waist to work as you lift and hold. And we come back. Let's go for 3 more. Breathing out, lifting up. Good. Inhale to lower. And 2. Lift those hips right up towards the ceiling. 2, 1. And we come down. Last one. Breathing out, lifting out, reaching through. That's it for 3, 2, 1. And we'll return. Okay, we're going to come up into that side bend. Yeah, so we're going to have your hand onto the floor. Remember, you can stay with that first variation if you need to. I'm just going to adjust my camera so you can see my hand when we come up all the way. There we go. Good. So we're going to have your top foot forward again. We're going to lift up, arm reaches towards the ceiling. That's it. We're going to breathe it. We're going to bring the arm underneath, lift the hips up. Inhale, come back again. Then we exhale. We're going to engage the tummy, feel the waist work, and then we return. So you might just do a couple of these, and then you might go back to the little lift on your elbow. Good, and then we return. We've got 3 more. Inhale, exhale, and 2. That's it. Really engaging those deep abdominal muscles. Feel the waist work. And last one, that's it. Lift those hips nice and high if you can. That's it. And we come all the way back down. Well done. Slowly come down. And we're going to go for a side stretch. So let's have your legs over towards your left. So both legs are towards the left-hand side. We're going to take your right arm up and over, and we'll just stretch into the side of the waist. So you can feel the distance between the rib cage and the hip increasing. So hopefully you've got those waist muscles working here. Okay, so we're going to breathe in and out. Go a little deeper into the stretch. Good, another breath in. And out, and this time we're going to curl forward, and you should feel the stretch move to the side of the back. So we more to the still in the waist, but towards the back there as well. You might feel it between the shoulders if the shoulder blades are tight. Good, and we'll come all the way up. I'm going to take your legs the other way this time. Okay, so we'll take your legs towards the right. We're going to lift the left arm up and over, so we're leaning towards the legs. Sometimes people lean away from the legs, but we really need to lean towards the legs. That's it. So you can feel that nice release into the side of the waist there. Lots of reach right up through those fingers. Try and increase the space between the rib and the hip. You want to breathe wide into that rib cage. That's it. Inhale. Exhale. Another breath in. And out. And you can curl forward and feel the tummy engage. So for the stretch into the side of the back there. So really opening up all those tight bits. Good, and you can relax. Okay, we're going to go for some arm openings now before we work into our back. So we're going to lie down onto your side. You have the knees just at about 90 degrees, so it's about in line with your hips there. We're going to come all the way down. We'll have your arms one on top of the other. Now if you want to, you can always place that towel under your head if you feel like it's a bit too much of a drop for the head. Otherwise, just keep the head nice and heavy on the floor. So I'm going to take the top arm up towards the ceiling, breathing in. And as you exhale, when you reach back through the fingers, you're trying to open up the chest. So a real feeling of dropping that shoulder down towards the floor. We're reaching right out through the fingertips, so both fingers can reach in opposite directions, yeah? So lots of energy on both hands. Then we bring the arm back up and over. And we go again. We inhale. Arm begins to move. As we exhale, we rotate through the rib cage. We take the shoulder towards the floor. We're trying to keep the top knee forward. So it's easy to kind of come back to this position. We want to keep the knees glued together and on that same line. So that tells us that our hips are straight, but we're rotating a lot through the waist and really working to the upper back. Then we come back across. Last one on this side, we inhale and we exhale to open out. We're going to reach right out through those fingers. Lots of energy. We'll inhale here Taking an extra breath. And as we exhale, we're going to sink the shoulder down a little closer towards the floor. Good, and then we'll come all the way back. We're going to swap sides now. So we'll spin over, or just spin around, whatever's most convenient. And we're going to have the knees just in line with the hips again and now glued together. So we'll line all the way down onto your side. So remember, you can put that towel under your head if that's more comfortable for you. Just make sure the knees are on that same line, that they're really glued in tight towards each other. We'll take the top arm up towards the ceiling, breathing in, and as we exhale, we're going to reach all the way back, opening up the shoulder, reaching out through those fingers. We've got energy out through both sides of the, or out through both sets of hands. That's it. And we're going to try and reach the top knee forward in opposition. Then we come back across. We breathe in, and then we exhale. Open up the chest a little bit further. Take the shoulder closer towards the floor. The hand might touch, but can we rotate the shoulder blade back? Keep those knees glued together. The top knee is reaching forward towards the bottom one. Then we come back again. Let's go for 2 more. We breathe in, and we breathe out. We open up. Good. Hopefully we're going a little further with each repetition. Maybe the side is more flexible. Maybe we rotate better this way. Maybe it's a bit tighter. We're going to open out. We're going to hold it here. Take a breath in. Exhale. Now you can your body go towards the floor. Another inhale. And then you can exhale and come all the way back. Good, nice work. Okay, we're going to lie onto your tummy now. So we're going to come all the way over onto those tummies. Arms are going to come down by your sides. So we're going to go for some dart or some back bracing. And the focus is going to be the upper back. So really thinking about using the muscles between the shoulder blades. So we're going to breathe in to prepare. As you exhale, we're going to lift up. We're going to reach through the fingers. So I'm going to turn the palms down. So we started with the hands facing the ceiling. Now we're turning the palms down. As we turn those palms down and reach with the fingers, we should really open the chest at the front, and we should further work into the upper back. So trying to bend just below the shoulder blades. Yeah, and then we inhale to return. We exhale, we lift up. We're going to hold it here. Let's reach right with those fingers for the tummy pull in. Good, and we breathe in to return. Exhale, lift. Feel like there's an ice cube underneath your belly button, and you're trying to lift that belly button up and away from the ice cube because it's cold. Then we inhale to come back. So as we lift up, we're keeping that tummy engaged, so the lower back stays long. Most of the work should be in the upper back. The lower back might work a little bit, but if it's really working more than the upper back, you're probably coming up a wee bit too far. And then rest down. That's it. So really opening the chest, reach with those fingers. Draw those shoulder blades down towards each other, like they're trying to come to a point of a V. And then we come back. We've got energy through the crown of the head. We're looking towards the floor. So the back of the neck is long. We're not looking straight ahead. We're going to keep the length right to the spine. Just going for that nice little bend at the upper back there. But let's go for another 3. Exhale. Inhale, come back down. And 2. And we return. And last one, lift up, reach right to those fingers for the crown of the head lengthen. So we're going to hold it here. We're going to lift the legs up now. So now the whole back is working. We're going to beat those heels together. Breathing in. 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, and in. 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Get the energy out through the fingers. Keep the tummy working. The upper back, the mid back, the glutes, the hamstrings are all working nicely. Good, and then we can relax all the way down. Well done. So we're going to bring the hands up so in a nice wide sphinx position. We're going for our lizard. So we'll inhale. As we exhale, we draw the shoulders back. And then push all the way up and off the floor, feeling that nice stretch through the centre. That's it, and feeling the back muscles engage here too. Just watch when it's going to sink into the back, but we keep that nice lift from the front of the tummy. Then we inhale, we exhale, we roll back, we'll slowly come back onto the floor. And we go again, breathing out, draw the shoulder blades back. So pushing into the ground, open the chest. Inhale, exhale, come back down. Let's go for one more of those. That's another breath out. Keep looking towards the floor. So we still want to keep that neck long. We're not looking straight ahead, but we're really keeping that length through the back. That's it. Good, and then we slowly come back down. Good work. Maybe come up onto your hands and knees now. We'll go for a cat stretch. So we'll take a breath in. As you breathe out, we're going to pull the tummy around the back for the stretch right through the spine. And then we're going to go the other way. So let the back arch a little. And then we pull the tummy in. Nice and gentle. Just releasing any tension in the back. You can push into the floor as we push up. Getting the stretch between the shoulders. And as we lift that back up towards the ceiling, feel like the waistband is pushing upwards. So the tummy's really pulling in to lift the hips. And so the back up towards the ceiling. And then we come back. So the lower tummy is really initiating the stretch through the back as we push away from the floor, lift away from the floor. Good, last one. That's it. Breathing in. Tummy pulls in nice and deep. That's it. Really feel those back muscles release, and then we come back. Good. We're going to go for a wee bit of glute work now. So we're going to lie down onto your side, and we're going to have your knees out in line with the hips. So often we go for some clams. We'll do our clams with our feet in line with your hips in this direction. But this time we're going to have the knees in line with the hips. So in a 90-90 position. We're going to work through a few different positions of the feet. Okay. So we're going to start lying all the way down. Knees in line with the hips. And we've got that 90-degree angle at the knee as well. Okay, so you can place your top hand onto your hip and just have a little bit of push down with that hand. So we're going to think about keeping the length through the top side of the waist. Once again, we're lifting up from the bottom side of the waist here, so we're active in the body. The lower tummy is engaging, and as we breathe out, we're going to lift the top knee towards the ceiling, and then we inhale and lower down. We're going to go again. We're going to breathe out to lift up, and then we inhale to lower. So gently pressing those heels together as the knee opens, and having a sense of reaching the tailbone away, almost like you're trying to stick your bottom out. Yeah, so hopefully you'll get that glute working if we can keep those hips in the right spot. That's it, and press those heels in. You may also want to place your hand onto your glute muscle. Sometimes you can feel it on the outside engage a little earlier or quicker than we can feel it on the inside. So if you feel the muscle move underneath your hand, you know that it's beginning to kick in. That's it. Let's go for another 4, breathing out. And 3. Good. And 2. And the last one. Good, and we come all the way back down. Now we're going to move your feet back so they're in line with your hips. So just glance down and make sure that your feet are just in line with your hips. We've still got that 90-degree angle at the knee there. That's it. So we're going to breathe out. We'll lift the top knee up again, and we inhale to lower. So continuing to do the same movement, but the feet are in a different position. And it might feel a little bit different in the glutes there too. Maybe working more towards the back of the pelvis. That's it. Exhale, lift up. Inhale, lower down. Good. So really feeling that muscle squeeze and engage to initiate the lift of the leg. That's it. Let's go for another 6. Breathing out, tummy's engaged. We're going to keep those hips really steady. Once again, that thigh bone is moving freely within the hip joint. We're not letting the hips shift around. Good. And we've got another 3. And 2. And the last one. Good, and coming back down. Now we're going to continue to move the legs back. So now we're going to bring the knees so they're going to be in line with the hips. So we're almost in a nice straight line along the outside or the side of the body there. That's it. If you can feel a little bit uncomfortable and you want to watch that the back doesn't arch, you want to keep those ribs really pulled in. If it's really difficult to stop the back from arching or engaging, just bring the knees slightly forward. We want to still keep that leg through the top side. Ribs are drawn in, nice and secure through the pelvis. From here we lift the top knee up. And then we inhale and lower the knee down again. So the knees are back in line with those hips as we open and close. Now you might feel a little bit of an opening or a stretch through the front of the hip there. That's really good. You might just continue to feel the glutes work at the back. Breathing out to lift. Inhale to lower. Good, that's it, team. We're going to go for 6. Consciously engaging that glute muscle as we lift. And 5, 4, and 3, good, 2, and last one. We lift and hold for 3, 2, 1, and you can relax. Good, right, we're going to turn over and we'll do the other side now. So we're going to start in that first position with the knees just in line with the hips there, and we're at 90 degrees at the knee joint. So 90 degrees at the hip, 90 degrees at the knee. So 90, 90. Yeah, so we'll lie all the way down. Top hip is down away from the shoulder. And we're going to start with the feet and knees together. So we breathe in. As you exhale, lift the top knee up, and then we inhale to lower down. Remember, we've got that feeling of sticking the bottom out behind you. So just to hold the hips steady as we lift the knee. The upper body is really relaxed here, so we shouldn't have to have any tension in the neck and the shoulders. The lower tummy is pulling in as the knee lifts up. Now it's a little easier to hold the hip in that right spot, so but from moving backwards in this position with the legs are in this position. But as we move the legs back, it's harder to maintain the pelvic stability. So it's good practice now to really think about pulling the tummy in as the knee lifts. So when we begin to move the legs further around the body, we've already got that working. Let's go for 3 more. Breathing out. Inhale to return. Good. And 2. And to the last one. Good. And you can lower down. We'll bring the feet back now, so the feet just in line with those hips. Top hips nice and long. That's it. And we go again. Breathing out to lift the knee. Inhaling to lower. That's it. This probably feels the most comfortable for those of you that do Pilates regularly. It's the more natural or more normal position that we use. So it might feel a bit more at home here. It's nice to have it in the middle. Good. That's it. We exhale to lift. Inhale to return. Just watching the hip doesn't begin to roll back now. Keep it forward over the bottom one. Let's go for another 5. And 4. 3. Pressing those heels in towards each other. And 2. Last one. That's it. And we lower the legs down. Now we're bringing the knees all the way back. That's it. So try and bring them in line with the hips as much as you can. The feet are back behind you. That's it. And the top hips reaching down. So this position is probably the hardest one to maintain. Make sure those ribs are soft at the front. We're not arching the back, but we're keeping everything nice and long in the torso. Okay. So we're going to exhale, we'll lift that top knee, and then we inhale to lower the leg down. Good. Another breath out. And in. Squeezing those glute muscles. Press the heels in towards each other. That's it. Your hand can come onto your glute if you want you to feel it switch on as that knee opens. Watch the ribs stay soft at the front. Yeah, we're not arching the back. Remember, keeping those tummies engaged. Good. We're going for another 6. And 5. 4. 3. Let the thigh bones getting longer as you lift it up. 2. And last one, we lift and hold for 3, 2, 1, and you can lower down. Good job. We're going to go for a stretch now. So we'll sit up, and we're going to have your right leg crossed in front of you. So you just cross your right leg in front, and then we're going to take your left leg and place it over the top of your right knee. It can be a bit awkward to get into that sort of landing. So the right leg's in front, the left foot's across. We're going to pull that left knee in towards you, and we're going to turn away from it. So you're lifting up and out of the hips, pulling that knee right in towards the chest. So you're turning away from the leg. We're going to sink the hip down to the floor, and you should get a stretch through the outside of that glute. And as you rotate around, you might feel a bit of a stretch into the upper back too. So we're going to breathe in. And then as you exhale, we're going to draw the shoulders further away from that leg. I'm going to pull the knee in a little closer towards the chest. Another breath in here. And out. And you can relax. Good, we'll take your leg the other way. We'll go the other way and stretch out the glutes. We're going to cross the left leg in front this time, and then we'll take the right leg across, and we're going to pull that right leg in towards the chest. So now we're sitting up as tall as we can on both sit bones, and we're going to pull that knee right in close towards you, and you're turning away from it. So you're turning away from the foot of the leg that you're stretching, or the glute that you're stretching. That's it. So lifting up and out of the hips. We'll breathe in here. As you exhale, we're going to pull the knee in closer towards the chest. Then we'll go again, another inhale. And exhale, knee pulls in. Good, and one more. Breathing out, knee comes in a little closer. And you can relax. Good work. Okay, we're going to go for some saw now. This is a really good stretch for the legs, but also for the back. Now, I know that sometimes it can be quite difficult for people to sit out with your legs wide, in this position and to be comfortable. Often you can find that you grip through those hip flexors and you're sort of trying to pull yourself forward, depending on how tight and how loose those hamstrings are. Okay, if that is you and you feel like it's just not comfortable to sit like this, take your towel and you can pop it underneath your sit bones, so you're sitting up on the towel, so your feet are slightly lower than your hips. If it's still difficult, you can get an extra pillow or something and just sit up on it so it's nice and high. But you just want to make sure that you're stable so you're not sort of going to slip off from side to side, but you can have even weight through those sit bones. Okay, so on the floor or on the towel, whatever's most comfortable for you. Now we're going to take the arms out wide to the side. You're going to take a breath in and we're going to rotate around towards your right foot, reaching with your left hand. And we're going to take your hand down towards your ankle. And we're going to try and reach as far as you can, reaching the right hand back behind you, and you're going to go a little further. And then we're going to come back up. So we're going to inhale, and then we're going to exhale. We're going to reach back over towards the left ankle now. We're going to try and reach right across. Then we go a little further, and a little further if you can, and then we come back. Good. We inhale. We exhale, we reach around towards the opposite foot, going a little further, and a little further, and then we return. Inhale, exhale, reach around, going further, and further, and further, and we come back. We're going to go for one more each way. Inhale, exhale, reach around. This time we're going to hold onto that leg. You might need to hold a little further up towards the knee, or just where the ankle is, and we're going to really pull yourself towards your leg. As you do that, try and take that hip, the opposite hip back and away. So not only that leg roll inwards, but you're going to try and keep that leg turned outwards. We're really reaching away through the back arm. So we're going to inhale here. Exhale, go a little further towards that leg. Another breath in. And out. Good, and you can come all the way out. But we'll rotate, we'll go the other way. Breathing out, reaching forward. That's it. Try and pull yourself down towards that leg. You can hold onto it. Go a little bit further through that stretch. Inhale. Exhale. Reach right back through those fingers with a stretch between the shoulders. Another breath in and out. And we'll come all the way back. Good, nice work. Okay, we're going to take hold of your towel now. I'm going to pop it down onto the floor a little bit like we had for our chest in-ness, and we're going to lie over the top of it. Yeah, so we're going to just let the head and shoulders rest over the top of that towel. So we're going to take the arms out wide at the side. We can just let the feet come together and let the knees open. You just gently rock the legs from side to side, releasing any tension through the hips. Let the spine be heavy towards the floor. That's it. And then we're going to bring the legs back in. And we're going to keep the feet flat on the floor and in parallel. We're going to feel the weight of the hips drop down to the ground. We're going to feel the weight of the ribs down to the floor. We're going to feel the heaviness of the arms and the heaviness of the head. So just nice and relaxed through the body. Just feeling that openness across the shoulders. We're going to breathe in. And as you exhale, release any tension through the body. Let it go heavier towards the floor. So nice and relaxed. Feeling that nice openness across the chest. We're going to take 2 more breaths in here. And exhale. Another breath in. And out. And we're going to roll over to the side, and now we're going to change the position of the towel. So now we're going to have it lengthways. So your head is going to rest on the towel, and the base of the towel is going to come between your shoulders. So we're just changing that over. And we're going to lay all the way down onto it. So this time the head's up a little bit higher, but you should just feel the shoulder blades open and drop over the sides of the towel. We've got that same heaviness through the legs and through the hips and through the pelvis, yeah? Still thinking about relaxing those ribs down towards the floor. Now we're going to think a bit more about the shoulders. So we're going to have the hands up towards the ceiling, and we're going to reach the fingers right up, like your shoulder blades are reaching away from the floor. Try and do this without straining into the neck. You just have to do a nice gentle reach, like you're reaching for something, yeah, reaching for, I don't know, something in the cupboard or something that you really want. That's it. And then we're going to breathe out and we drop the shoulders down. And just let them collapse on either side of the towel. Then we're going to go again. We're going to breathe in. We're going to reach the arms up. And then we're just let them go. Let the shoulders drop on either side of that towel there. So big reach and relax. That's it. So as the shoulders come down, just letting all that tension go. Let them drop over the sides of the towel. That's it. Inhale and exhale. Go for 2 more. Another breath in. And out. Good in the feel. We'll keep that heaviness of the shoulders on either side of the towel. I'm going to open the arms out really wide. Slowly lowering them down towards the floor. Let them come to rest. I'm going to do a little bit more breathing here before we finish. So we're going to inhale. I'm going to breathe wide into the rib cage. And as we exhale, we're going to sink even further towards the mat and towards the floor. Another breath in. And out. Really be mindful of the feet and the hips and the ribs. All dropping down into the floor there. Inhale and exhale. Just releasing tension. You can do a wee scan through the body. Are there any areas of tension? Maybe in the jaw, in the neck. Even in the fingers and the hands. Sometimes we can be clenching the hands or holding tension in the fingers without even realizing it. Go for 1 more wide breath in. And out. And you can stay there if you want to and have a wee nap. Or you can come up, whatever you like. Yeah, so if you're coming out, just roll to the side. Don't come up forward because that can just feel tension in the neck. But if you just roll to the side, that helps to keep everything nice and relaxed as we lift up. Okay, well, thank you for joining me today. I hope you feel a little looser in your back. Hopefully you've got those abdominals working a little bit for you too. And you have a wonderful day, whatever you get up to. Thank you.